So I wanted to start out my day today by talking about the fact that I did not get a video out yesterday. I had various technical difficulties that basically made it impossible. The last of which being that apparently I recorded the entire video that I had for yesterday muted and had no way to get the audio back because, of course, there was no audio there to get back. So, in case you're wondering, yes, people who do podcasts, even if they've been doing them for almost a year like I have, certainly can make some seriously silly mistakes. So yeah, we do that. Don't think otherwise. But I wanted to talk today about a subject that I was going to talk about yesterday, and the subject is corporate alms. We're going to talk about that today on the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Wednesday, the 18th of August of 2021. Welcome to everybody who's here on Rumble on the podcast and on YouTube. Thank you for coming along today. Remember, Rumble is my preferred platform, obviously. Given that you listen to me, I would prefer that you did so there. And again, the subject for today is going to be corporate alms. And I want to go ahead and read my notes so that you have some idea sort of where I'm going at this point. You may be looking at the title of this piece and either wondering about what I'm speaking or have a serious misconception about what's being discussed. I've argued consistently against an ongoing problem. It has to do with the idea that many people for some time now have been abdicating personal responsibility. There are a number of potential angles from which you can view this. I want to speak today about the idea of helping those in need in one way or another. One of my favorite talkers on Rumble, Drew Berquist, has sponsors who want me to give them sufficient money that they can pass it on to people in organizations supposedly benefiting others. Where I get his willingness to have them as sponsors, as well as his belief that they're doing good things. You'll forgive me if I pretty much never support handing my responsibility over to others. There was a coffee company, we're not going to give their name, that sold itself as patriotic and supporting people who tend to believe as I do. Then one day it came out they were nothing like how they presented themselves. And they're far from alone in this. Various high-profile supposed managers of charitable giving have been caught with their proverbial pants down many times. All you have to do is watch for the stories to come out. And it doesn't matter if you're looking in the mainstream press or elsewhere, you will see them. All you have to do is watch for the stories. That's all you got to do. Here's the point. If you want to do so, it's totally your right to give to those giant entities or even smaller ones. You'll forgive me if I refuse to support corporate alms as a rule. For my part, I'm going to work to direct my resources to places that actually appear to help. And that's the end of the notes, so we're going to get on to kind of discussing in depth. As I pointed out previously, what I say in my notes definitely is a discussion of, what we're talking about. That said, I want to take the time, though, to kind of delve into this a little bit. And if you know me very well at all, you know that I don't get into naming names. And I'm not going to make an exception of that today. Because, among other things, there are legal ramifications for doing that, and I don't want to get into that. I can just tell you that there are lots of entities who are doing things like managing supposed donations to various charitable entities for companies and for groups of people, and those people cannot be trusted to do what they say they're going to do. I worked for a time for a charitable organization, and that organization said, oh yeah, if you designate money for this or that particular thing that we're doing, you can actually specifically support only the things you want to support. That was a bold-faced lie. I won't get into it was. I won't tell you what they actually. Well, I'll tell you what they sort of actually said. They said you can say to somebody their money is going to go to this thing, but in reality, it's not. The money's going to go into a general coffer and be drawn out as we need it or want it for various things that we're doing. But they would never, never, never have told an individual who was, involving themselves in their little endeavor that that's what they were doing. They would have never done that because people would have had conniption fits if they'd have done so, obviously. And it's worse yet if you go to a lot of organizations who say, yeah, we support this cause or that cause, and we'll make sure that our money goes to those places. There used to be that there was a place, I think it was give.org, that would tell you how much of a company, of a nonprofit organization's profit, supposed profit, actually went to the various things that they were supporting. And you would be astounded by the numbers. 15, 20%, and everything else was administrative or paychecks. All of it. And they had so many people working there for comparatively pretty good money, right? And particularly the people in higher positions, and it made it so that the stuff that came in really wasn't most of it going to the things those entities were supposed to be supporting. You can talk about churches and so forth, and I think that in general they try to do better about making sure that the majority of the money that they collect, the substance that they collect, does in fact go to the various charitable organizations that they state. Well, one of the problems with that, of course, is sometimes they'll pick charitable organizations that you'll go, I don't want my money going there. And you might like the church, okay, and you might want to stay there, but you won't want to support everything they're supporting. I don't support certain large-scale organizations. I don't support the Komen Foundation at all. I'm not going to get into why, because I don't want to get in again to legal battles with Komen as to why I don't support them. All you need to know is I don't support them, and I have my reasons. I urge you to do your research and to come to a conclusion whether or not that's something that you want to do with your time, your money, and your other substance. If you see the things that I see and you don't change your mind in terms of supporting them, well, more power to you, I guess. Go ahead and support them. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not doing it. Right? And so there are various things that are then supported by Komen, like 3 Miles a Min and one of the local 5K or whatever races and so forth and so on. And I can't support those things either because I know that the money's going to be going to the Komen Foundation. Okay, I can't support them. Again, if you want to know what, I'm sorry to tell you that I'm not going to tell you what it is. But at the same time, I'm not going to tell you do or don't support the Komen Foundation either. I'm going to tell you do your due diligence, find out what it is that they do and what they don't do. I don't support United Way. Why? Not telling you. Again, if you want to know, you do the research and you find out. I'm not going to be found legally bound or legally liable for something that I say as a result of the fact that I don't, that I believe it's true and they find ways to either loophole through it or they actually are saying things that are or doing things that are in contradiction to what I've been told about what's going on there. So I urge you to do your own research. But the point of all of this is this idea of corporate alms, of giving your money to organizations and letting the organizations do the work. It's a bad idea. And it's even worse if the organization, quote, organization, is government. If that organization is government, you can be sure that most of what they're spending money on is not going to go to things that you're going to find useful or worthwhile. I'm just telling you that now. You do with that what you feel like you have to, but that is the reality as I have seen it working with government, state and local government in my local area. And I promise you that the sorts of things that are happening in the state and local government, they're happening elsewhere in the country, and they're happening at the federal level as well. And by the way, taxes are not alms. They are not charitable giving. You can't have somebody take money from somebody and give it to somebody else and call that charitable giving. That's not how that works, boys and girls. It's just not. So please do not come to me with the idea that taxation equals charitable giving, because it doesn't. And it doesn't equal abdication of the right to abdicate your responsibility because somebody else is taking that responsibility. Doesn't work like that. If you have a problem with that, well, I'm sorry to hear it, but my answer to that is you need to be looking and seeing what's going on with that money. And I'm afraid what you're going to find you're not going to like. The more you're able to dig into particularly what government does, the less you're going to like it. Fact is, that's true for corporate alms giving of various kinds, including the various large-scale supposed bundlers of charitable donations and so forth. I think probably the best solution to all of this is use your money where you know it will come to good. I don't know a better substance, whatever you want to say, money, substance, whatever, where it will come to a lot of good. So if there's somebody hungry and you can actually feed them, if there's somebody who needs clothes and you can give it to them, if there's somebody who's pregnant and can't take care of herself and needs to do various, hospital visits and so forth, and you can help them do that. But largely, I just don't support the idea of cultural, or alms in a corporate sense. Okay, I'm running over time today, and I need to go ahead and wrap this up. This is the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt. Today is Wednesday, the 18th of August of 2021. Tomorrow will be Thursday, the 19th of August of 2021. Thank you for everybody who's been here on Rumble, on the podcast, and on YouTube. Remember, Rumble is my preferred platform. Remember that you can give me a positive Rumble, a plus, or a boxing glove on Rumble, or a negative Rumble if you see the need to do so. You can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on YouTube, where you'll find me as well. On both of those platforms, you can comment, and I would love it if you did so to tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. The subject of today's video has been corporate alms, and tomorrow we're going to talk about a subject that I don't necessarily always do that well. It is following through. I hope you're having a good day today. I hope everything is going well for you, and hopefully we will see you on Thursday's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This video was recorded on Wednesday, August 18th of 2021. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, or maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @kpschubert. That's @kpschubert. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S, .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.